Enmeshment describes emotionally fused family relationships that lack boundaries, such that roles and expectations are confused, parents are overly and inappropriately reliant on their children for support, and children, even as adults, are not allowed to become emotionally independent or separate from their parents. Here are some of the common signs of enmeshment in families. There is a lack of emotional and physical boundaries. In my experience, simply the word boundaries caused a 3-hour yelling explosion at a kitchen table, complete with insults and swearing. Those within the family don't think, or aren't allowed to think, about what's best for them. It's always about pleasing others within the enmeshed family. This became obvious in my experience when we first started expressing backing off from the constant family commitments to take more time for ourselves. Members feel responsible for the happiness of the others. This was so ingrained in my husband that it made it difficult for him, when challenged, to stand up to the boundaries we had privately discussed together. Guilt and shame occurs if less contact is desired. In my scenario, for example, we wanted to back off from the constant barrage of group texts. We wanted to start spending a few holidays here and there without the enmeshed family, and holy heck, see any of my content for the intense guilt and shame poured on us for these assertions. Family members feel the right to openly give opinions and judgment on another's decisions. Again, this was a constant in my scenario. They questioned our family decisions even at a financial level. Are you ready to get a dog? Isn't it too soon? Can you afford that car? This was occurring as recently as this year, and I'm about to turn 38. In other words, we are grown adults and we're financially secure. The enmeshed family wants to know and deserves to know everything about your life. Again, see multiple posts about group chats that often hit 50 texts a day and even sometimes neared 100. Parents don't encourage their children, even as adults, to follow their dreams and impose their ideas about what you should be doing. If we talked about something we were excited to do, like a project we were considering in our yard, it was met with negativity and foreshadowing of doom and gloom. Here's all the things that might go wrong. Did you consider that? Family members overshare personal experiences and feelings in a way that creates unrealistic expectations, unhealthy dependence, and confused roles. Often enmeshed parents rely on their children for emotional support and have what can be termed an emotionally incestuous relationship with their children, in that all feelings are shared and explored together, even as adults. See past and future content for cringeworthy texts and emails. You are expected to avoid conflict and heavily discouraged, or plain not allowed to, say no. This one, again, see any of my posts. In healthy families, children are encouraged to become emotionally independent, to separate, pursue their goals, and become their own person. In enmeshed families, these kinds of healthy boundaries don't exist. Parents don't respect that children need to explore their own identities, become emotionally mature, and separate from their parents. When I met my husband, while this type of structure seemed odd to me, I just thought it was because I was raised differently. This must be the right way to live. In other words, gaslighting already my own feelings.